Are all viral songs on TikTok just sped up versions of normal songs?
Yes, they are.
The real question is, does this actually sound better than this? Let's discuss. An article from Refinery29 likened sped up songs on TikTok to dopamine dressing, which is basically a buzz term that refers to wearing bright and loud colors with some sort of expectation that it will boost your mood. Maximalism. Woo! So I guess we can think of sped up songs as a similar concept, but instead of fashion, with music. Dramatized, dressed up versions of songs we already know. I'm going to read out a quote that provides one angle of why we might like sped up songs. Music, especially fast-paced music, elicits a lot of brain activity. So listening to music increases the level of dopamine in our brain, which is a neurotransmitter known as the happy hormone. Emlyn Jack, a PhD student in neurology at the University of Melbourne, states that by listening to songs we like, we are kind of giving ourselves a little reward or a treat on a neurochemical level. She also notes that we are likely to enjoy songs with high tempos, regular patterns, and a bright contour, which I'm guessing is just something that sounds bright and happy. I can only just think of contouring my face. Not that I really know how to contour. Anyways, so what I'm hearing is the brain enjoys songs we like. Okay, self-explanatory. The brain also likes fast tempos. Therefore, fast tempo songs make the brain happier. You're welcome, brain. And while there isn't actually a lot of research into the effects of high-speed music, Emlyn states that overstimulation can actually lead to difficulty in concentrating and to a shorter attention span. Sorry, brain. This kind of seems really contradictory to me, seeing as sped up songs are having such a moment, one that is seemingly reignited by TikTok. So the length of videos is shorter and the rate at which we consume video content is ramping up. Though, side note, I do think it's interesting that now there are options to make long videos on TikTok. Overall though, it really does seem like maximalism has seeped into every aspect of our lives. It's not uncommon for the section of a song that goes viral to become extremely well known, but for the rest of the song and the artist to remain in the dark. Or when you hear a sped up song, thinking that's the original, only to find out later that the real version is actually
really slow.
But actually it's just regular speed and you didn't know. Sped up songs also just kind of remind me of watching a lecture on ×2 speed.
When you just kind of want to get through it faster.
But there is more than meets the eye in this era of overstimulation and doing the most. As a 2022 Times article suggests, this trend of sped up music is an outcome of the 20-year nostalgia cycle, climate change nihilism, information saturation, streaming era content overload, and our collective long COVID of the soul have converged in a tidal wave of tackiness. What TikTok teens, white-collar workers, marooned in home offices, and the gate-kept super rich all have in common is the kind of physical isolation, if not the sense of doom, that makes a person desperate just to feel something. And nothing kills numbness like a sensory onslaught of colour, sound, hedonism, melodrama, sleaze. So apparently we're just all looking to kill numbness, and the sped up songs are just one way to do that. But also they do really kind of make sense if you think about the overall pace of TikTok. Like, it really is just a consecutive scroll, and if everything feels like a drag, we're probably not going to spend that much time on the app. Of course, sped up songs don't solely exist on TikTok, but there's no denying that TikTok has played a huge part in the normalization of high BPM versions of songs, old and new. But of course, sped up songs have their predecessor to thank, Nightcore, which is a genre that emerged in the early 2000s. An article from The Guardian states, two Norwegian high school students, Thomas Nilsson and Stefan Soderholm, pioneered the sound during a class project in 2002. They described writing an original song for school with the music software EJ Dance 3. According to the profile, that tune had squeaky vocals and a heart attack-inducing BPM of 170. They got a C+ on the project but made an LP with a similar sound that ultimately spread through the mid-aughts globally. And that means the mid-2000s. So Nightcore bloomed on YouTube, LimeWire, and other online forums, ultimately finding its way into the work of mainstream hyperpop artists like Charlie XCX and the late Sophie. Quote, anyone can make Nightcore, and that's what's so fun about it, end quote. Sung Ying Wang, a producer known on YouTube as Axion X, told the New York Times. So I guess we can see that there's actually a lot of resemblance between the time when Nightcore took off and sped up songs today, because of the fact that editing softwares now are more accessible than ever before, which is comparable to LimeWire and other music editing softwares that were used in the early 2000s. Yeah, this accessibility today lines up well with how we now consume a lot of short form content, generally with audio attached. But in saying that, there's no denying that TikTok has completely upended the whole music industry from its days as a silly lip syncing app to an app that is now considered an essential promotional tool for artists and record labels. As much as it may feel like songs gain traction and take off organically, I feel that this isn't really how it works anymore. Although it's still a possibility, but generally not a given. Marketing teams can and do hire influencers to help songs blow up, or they also work in slightly more indirect ways. Record labels can host listening sessions with influencers to show them songs before they come out in the hopes that they might choose to use them in their own videos. We're all pretty familiar now with the fact that a song trending on TikTok will likely end up charting on Billboard 100 or on Spotify, and that is kind of just normal now. I feel like there's just a lot of quotes, but they're just too good not to read out. So this one is from Jacqueline Schwartz, Music Partnership Director at the marketing agency Creed Media. And she said, quote, "A song can have an entirely different sentiment, application, audience, everything when it is remixed, which really just provides it an entirely new life," end quote. You know, these songs are getting revamped. Let's pretend you hate, I don't know, mainstream pop songs, but if you want to get it in front of more people, it makes sense to remix it. In relation to remixes, this is another quote. Sorry for all the quotes. Nima Nasseri, the A&R lead for UMG's music strategy and tactics team. Quote, "Back in the day, you'd just go get a bunch of club DJs to remix your records so that you could appeal to the drum and bass market, to the techno market, to the underground market. You want to be able to have your record get discovered in places that it normally wouldn't be discovered in. Obviously, there are still plenty of people remixing songs in traditional ways and then playing them at clubs or posting them on YouTube and playing them at events, but I guess there's a lot less need for that now, given that anyone can remix a song and just put it on the internet." In relation to the speed of music and its connection with making our brains feel happier, a psychology study stated that music with a fast tempo has been found to evoke positive emotions such as happiness, excitement, delight, and liveliness, while music with a slow tempo evokes negative emotions such as sadness, depression, and gravity. Obviously, this is a blanket statement. There are happy slow songs and sad fast songs. But generally the way they sound, it's more likely that an upbeat song is probably going to sound happy and cheerful even if the actual topic of the song is sad. It's actually quite overwhelming when you think about just how many things we as a society use TikTok for, but TikTok has become its own little planet where you can discover new music, new clothes, new cleaning products, new electronics, desk accessories, new personalities, and new looks. The list goes on. Coming back to the question of why are all the viral songs just sped up versions of pre-existing songs? Well, it might make our brain happier. It can offer a fresh take on a pre-existing song, opening it up to new audiences. It can captivate and stimulate us in a time where every second of attention companies can take from us is $1 in their pocket. Probably many dollars. I love existing in an attention economy. Also, some songs do just sound better sped up. Anyways, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Alright, I'm gonna go listen to some sped up songs now. Goodbye.